Hi, I'm Nicole Justine Reed. When we talk about health, we usually ask, how's your health? And we mean the body. How's your body doing? Or sometimes we talk about mental health. You know, there's a phrase, mental health, right? So it's physical health, it's mental health. But what I want to know is, how's your spiritual health? How's your spiritual health? That's important too. This is a huge part of who you are. And really, when you tap into your spiritual health, your mental health, your physical health, it's all related. You're an integrated dynamic being. And in my belief system, your spirit is really the key and the root of all of it. So what is spiritual health? We'll talk about that. Then we'll go into two keys about spiritual health. One is really how to tell where you're at, and the second is what to do about it. So first, what is spiritual health? Spiritual health is being totally aligned with the flow. It's being aligned with that greater substance and energy that exists in all things, including you. So really, it's also being aligned with yourself. It's really having that deep alignment. It's having that flow. It's having that true sense of who you are, that greater, grander perspective of how we're all connected to different things. And there's different levels of this, of course, right? There's probably moments in your life where you've just busted wide open inside and gone, oh my gosh, like I'm so connected to everything. Everything's flowing. I'm like on top of the world. Life is amazing. Because you notice that when you feel great inside, everything outside is really just coming into alignment as well. It's kind of rearranging itself around you. We get into the trap of thinking that happens first, right? So something happens outside of us and then we feel better on the inside. That can happen as well, right? But really what's happening is that we are feeling better on the inside and it's being reflected outside of us. And so when I speak about spiritual health, I'm talking about you being fully aligned with yourself, your spirit, the grand spirit, and really aligned with your life, aligned with that entire flow. Isn't that great? It's a good feeling. So how can you tell, right? So the first key is really how to tell. How can you tell where you're at in this whole scheme of things? How can you tell where your spiritual health is at? Well, the easy answer is, how do you feel? Do you feel like you're part of the flow? Or do you feel disconnected and shut off and cut off from the flow? And for some of you, this may show up as a physical feeling. It may show up as a mental sensation, or maybe this energetic sense, or this like something's missing, I'm like feeling kind of lost or stuck. Feeling disconnected in some way, or restless or unsatisfied, or there might be some sort of disease or dis-ease inside of you in some way. And if you are already pretty in tune with yourself, you'll know what that feeling is. And if not, I encourage you to practice really getting in tune with those different sensations in your body. And that might be something we'll talk about another time. It's really important. So how's your spiritual health? Well, do you feel connected or disconnected from life right now? And I say right now because life is a process of kind of this sort of connection, disconnection, expansion, constriction, movement. It's this dynamic thing. Would we want to be flowing and expanded all the time? Of course, right? But we are also here to learn, and we are here to practice that, right? And as part of that, sometimes we do get disconnected as well. So let's say that you've decided, okay, I'm feeling really great, I'm in the flow. What do? Great. You just really enjoy that. You practice the gratitude. You practice being in that beautiful space. You practice being in that alignment with all of who you are. And you express that. You engage fully in life. Really allow that to play out fully. Really allow that to be. And enjoy it. So if you're in that space, enjoy it. Really go for it. Right? Because sometimes when we're in that space, some of us will actually be like, oh my God, this is too much joy. This is too scary. And then we cut ourselves off, right? So don't cut yourself off. Allow yourself to continue flowing. Now, if you're not in that space, if you've done a tune-in check with yourself and you've realized, okay, my spiritual health isn't so great. Oh my gosh. Well, hey, the good news is that you're aware. Okay? You're like, oh, I'm kind of disconnected from life. This doesn't feel good. Awareness is the first step. So, bada bing, bada boom, awesome. Now, what do you do about it? This comes to the second key, which is practice. This is where spiritual practice becomes really important in your life. So when I say spiritual practice, this really can mean anything. It's whatever works for you. So this is about creating a spiritual practice that is really luscious and really connecting for you. Because what is the point of a spiritual practice? Well, it's to connect with your spirit, right? So do what works for you. But a practice means coming back over and over again. It means really like practicing, like doing it. Kind of like in yoga, right? Yoga is a yoga practice, because you are coming back to the mat. You are practicing, you're trying. Your body's going to be in a different space. Your mind is going to be in a different space each time. Your spirit may be in a different space each time, right? But you practice integrating and you see what shows up and you work with what's there. So create a spiritual practice to stay connected and centered to yourself, to the greater all there is, to the universe, to whatever God you believe in, and whatever that looks like for you. And that may be meditation, it may be prayer, it may be journaling, or just quiet time in the stillness. For some of you, you might want to go out to nature because it'll be easier to connect in that space, right? It's just going to be different for everybody. So you find what works for you and you make it a practice. Make it regular, make it consistent. This is really, really important because when you do that, what you're doing is you're strengthening your spiritual muscle, right? So if we talk about physical health, we talk about going to the gym, we talk about maybe building your muscles, right? Or building your endurance, right? Just optimizing your body through the regular practice of taking care of it. This is also, nutrition. This is also sleep, right? So if we're using the sort of the physical body health as an example or an analogy, in the spiritual health realm, it's quite similar. You want to build your spiritual muscle, so you're going to meditate every day if that's your choice of your practice, for example, right? So you would be strengthening that. Maybe you would be going into it deeper or longer or taking it to the next level as you continue to practice, just as you would at the gym, lifting heavier weights, something like that. If we talk about physical nutrition, you need to think about spiritual nutrition. What feeds your spirit? What lights you up? What nourishes your soul? This is spiritual nutrition. And you want to make sure you're giving yourself large doses of that each day. And sleep, I'm not sure really exactly what the analogy is on that, right? But sleep is really just about like that sort of rest cycle, right? It's just allowing yourself to recharge. And so just think about maybe spiritual recharging. It could be whatever it is that comes up for you around that. It's just keeping your spirit recharged. I think it's pretty similar, right? It's pretty similar to the nutrition. It's pretty similar to the building of the muscle. It's like, it's just staying aware. It's just being really aware of where you're at on your spiritual health scale, where you want to be, how you feel. And just continue to expanding into that and like relaxing into it and really enjoying it and allowing that flow to come through you and out into your life and blessing everything around you so that you can continue to receive the blessings and just be fully engaged in the cycle of life. So ask yourself right now, how's your spiritual health? What do you come up with? Is this something where you're like, I have a really good spiritual practice? Awesome. Continue going for it. Deepen it, expand it, raise your own consciousness, continue to practice that and celebrate, be in gratitude. And if not, just notice, oh, my spiritual health isn't so great. Or maybe it's just something you've never even thought about. But now you're aware of it and you're thinking about it. So what are you going to do about it? You're going to create a spiritual practice? What's it going to look like? Play with it, experiment, but try something because your spiritual health is just as important as your mental health and your physical health because it's really about you connecting deeply to all of who you are. I hope this has been helpful for you today. Thank you for being here with me today, and I think this is a big topic. So please write in the comments below, what are you doing for your own spiritual health? Is it something that you've even thought of before? If this video would be useful to somebody who's maybe feeling lost or stuck or kind of disconnected from life, maybe spiritual health is something that they need to be considering, and feel free to share this with them. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel already, I'd love for you to subscribe and join me on a regular basis as we talk about all cool things to make your life even better and more fulfilling, because that's exactly what you deserve. So thanks for being here today and have a wonderful rest of your day.